Welcome you all in this third session for data preparation and screening. And in this session, I will focus on testing the assumptions for statistical analysis, which are very necessary before we go for any statistical analysis. Cause the accuracy and power of the statistical analysis will perform hugely depends on whether or not our data fulfills the assumptions for that particular analysis. So we have discussed that for any parametric data, our data should be normally distributed. So we generally call it as normality assumption. And if our sample size is large, simply mean if we have 200 or more cases, 200 or more participants, we usually don't need to test normality. It is less relevant in that case. And if our data is sufficiently large, 450 and above, we never bother about its normality. It is believed that it is always normal if our data size is fairly large, 450 and above. However, even if it's 250 and above, usually it is considered normal. Why? Because the central limit theorem states that if the sample statistics will be good and estimates will be better if even if the normality is not there but data size is more than 200. So if the data size is large, we don't have to bother about normality. But if our sample size is below 100 cases, we need to ensure that our data is normally distributed. It is very necessary that our data follows the assumptions of normality, because without that the power of statistics, power of a parametric statistics will not be ascertained. And since most of our experiments have less than 100 cases, for experimental analysis, we necessarily need to test whether our data fulfills the assumptions of normality or not. There are many statistical procedures that we use for normality assumption. There are we can use box plot, we can use histogram, we can use graph, we can use many methods are there. But more popular and known method is plotting the frequency polygon and seeing whether it approximates the normal probability curve. Okay. With the availability of many online softwares, statistical softwares, online tools, it's almost a click away to test the normality. So we just need to have our data, and the moment we ask a software test the normality, it will test. So it's not a problem computing and testing a normality. However, we need to know what normality mean. So we know that a normal distribution is when we have skewness and kurtosis values 0, which means our data is neither positively skewed and nor negatively skewed. It's balanced, and our kurtosis is neither leptokurtic nor platokurtic. So if both of these situations are not there, skewness and kurtosis value would be 0. However, practically it is not seen in data. Our data is rarely or hardly accurately normal distribution. But we consider them normal if the skewness index is greater than 3 and kurtosis index is greater than 10. Okay, so if our skewness index is 3 or more, our data we consider it normal, and same with kurtosis. if we found that our skewness and kurtosis are indicating not normal distribution, we may still use this data for statistical analysis, but in that case we will have to transform our data in a format which follows normality. So data transformation is an important method we'll discuss sometime, which help us fulfill many assumptions of statistical analysis. For example, we may square every data. Once a raw data is squared, it may allow normality assumption to be fulfilled. We may do logarithmic transformation, or at least we may do Z transformation or standard score transformation. So if we need to test our data whether it is normal or not, if it is not normal, we may go for non-parametric statistics. But if we have to go for parametric statistics, because we have discussed that parametric statistics is required for higher order statistics, higher order hypothesis testing, we simply have to transform our data into a normal format. So it is not a problem, but we need to know whether or not our data is normal. जानना जरूरी है. If we found problem, अगर हमें समस्या पता हो गई तो उसका समाधान statistics में है. So now how we can ensure it? By computing skewness and kurtosis separately. Skewness, we know that skewness occurs when our data, when plotted, is heavily loaded on either side of the plot. So if it is loaded to our right side, it is negatively skewed. Right side means towards higher cases, positive, towards 100. And if it is loaded to our left side, means towards 0, it is positively skewed. So left loaded data positive skewness and right loaded data negative skewness. If we found a value of 0, it means there is no skewedness in the data. That is perfectly normal data. But if we have skewness into this, if our data show skewness index, it does not have any problem till the skewness value divided by its standard error is more than plus 3.29. So if we see that the skewness index, the value of a skewness calculated, if we divide it by its standard error of skewness, and the Z then calculated is more than plus 3.29, we will consider that the data is not normal. Similar happens with kurtosis. We know kurtosis is tallness or flatness of the curve. So whether the middle value create a peak or they are flat. ठीक है? So a flat graph shows plateau-curtic. A tall graph in the middle shows leptocurtic. Okay, but we need a medium level graph which shows value of 0, means mesocurtic, normal or symmetrical data. Usually we don't get such data. There are some kurtosis, but that are negligible. However, problem arise when our kurtosis statistics, means the value of kurtosis calculated divided by the standard error of kurtosis is greater than plus 3.29. यानी कि जब kurtosis की वैल्यू उसके स्टैंडर्ड एरर से डिवाइड करने के बाद 3.29 से ज्यादा आए तो ये शो करता है कि हमारी कुर्टोसिस मेजोकर्टिक नहीं है बल्कि लेप्टोकर्टिक या प्लेटिकर्टिक है, ये नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नहीं माना जा सकता। अगेन वी हैव डिस्कस्ड दैट व्हेन अ डेटा इज नॉट फाउंड नॉर्मल, we can get it normal if we have to do parametric statistics. We can get it normal by using data transformation. तो हम डेटा को फिर स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस करने से पहले ये जरूरी हो जाएगा कि हम डेटा को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर लें एक नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वाले डेटा में। The second assumption then comes after normality is homogeneity, which is also known as homoscedasticity. So when we are doing correlational statistics, we term it homoscedasticity, and for causal inferences ANOVA t-test we call it homogeneity. Meaning इसका है लैटिन में same variance. Same variance mean homoscedasticity या homogeneity refer करते हैं ऐसे डेटा सेट को जिसमें वेरिएंस डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स जो हम कंपेयर करने वाले हैं उसमें सेम हो। सो homoscedasticity is also known as homogeneity of regression, which simply refers that variance of one variable under question is equal to all other variables in hand. तो अगर हम दो वेरिएबल्स के बीच में रिग्रेशन निकाल रहे हैं तो जो एक वेरिएबल में वेरिएंस का स्तर है, लेवल है, वही दूसरे वेरिएबल में होना चाहिए, तब हम कहेंगे कि डेटा होमोजीनियस है। इफ दैट इज नॉट डन, दैट इज नॉट सीन, देन वी विल से डेटा इज हेट्रोजीनियस एंड देन वी कैन नॉट डू दैट एनालिसिस until we again transform the data into a acceptable format. So data transformation is helpful for everything, provided we know what is the problem and what we want to deal with. Homoscedasticity requires that the regression slope we are seeing, अगर हम regression line draw करें तो that slope should be equal across all groups of IVs and DVs and covariates. सारे जो हमारे वेरिएबल्स हैं स्टडी के, उन सब में रिग्रेशन स्लोप हमारे इक्वल होने चाहिए। होमोजेनिटी को हम टेस्ट भी कर सकते हैं और हम ये नहीं चाहते कि ये सिग्निफिकेंटली डिफरेंट हो, यानी एक वेरिएंस का, एक आईवी का जो हमारा वेरिएंस है दूसरी आईवी, डीवी और कोवेरिएट के वेरिएंस से सिग्निफिकेंटली डिफरेंट नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर ऐसा होगा then there is a problem and we cannot run parametric statistics until we transform the data. If our data is heteroscedastic, it may cause standard error, biased standard error. So अगर heteroscedasticity है डेटा में, the results will not be appropriate. It will lead the statistics to inefficient. Inefficient means the data will not be able to tell you about the true difference that exists. Simply अगर वर्ड में कहें तो आपके हाइपोथेसिस की जो टेस्टिंग होगी वो एररफुल होगी। हो सकता है सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस हो ग्रुप्स में, आपको न सिग्निफिकेंट मिले, या हो सकता है न सिग्निफिकेंट हो और वो आपको सिग्निफिकेंट मिले। तो कुल मिलाकर के जो आपकी स्टैटिस्टिक्स की इफिशियंसी है वो घट जाएगी अगर डेटा हेट्रोजीनियस है। अगर किसी भी कारण से हमारे डेटा में हेट्रोस्कैडिसिटी मिलती है, वी कैन स्टिल डू पैरामेट्रिक बाय यूजिंग डेटा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन। सो डेटा को एक एक्सेप्टेबल फॉर्मेट में ट्रांसफॉर्म करना होता है। As I said, we also know it in the name of in the second name homogeneity. Homogeneity is basically when we use ANOVA method. तो जब हम causal inferences निकालते हैं तो हम homoscedasticity को homogeneity बोलते हैं. एंड होमोजेनिटी को टेस्ट करने के दो मेथड हैं. पहला है वेरिएंस रेशियो एनालिसिस, easiest possible method. We simply calculate variance of each group and then we take the group which has lowest variance and we take the group which have highest variance. Now the ratio between the two means the highest variance is divided by lowest variance और इन दोनों का जो प्रोडक्ट है, जो रेशियो है, वो 4 और 5 से कम आता है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, इसका मतलब डेटा हमारा होमोजीनियस है. लेकिन अगर इन दोनों का रेशियो 4-5 से ज्यादा आता है, इसका क्या मतलब हुआ कि जो एक ग्रुप है उसके वेरिएंस से दूसरे ग्रुप का वेरिएंस 5 गुने से भी ज्यादा है. इसका मतलब इसके वेरिएंस की तुलना में उसका वेरिएंस बहुत ज्यादा है. दे कैन नॉट बी कंपेयर्ड, दे आर नॉन कंपेरेबल. इफ द रेशियो इज मोर देन 5, सिंपली पुट द वेरिएंस अवेलेबल इन वन ग्रुप is 4-5 times higher than the variance available in other group. It means we cannot compare these two groups together. There is another sophisticated method than this which is more used and it is automatically available in SPSS software. We call it Leven's test. Whenever you will do a parametric statistics, you will always say that before the t-test and ANOVA result there will be a table or column which will tell you Leven's test result, Leven's test F value and Leven's test significance. And we see that we must first see this Leven's test before seeing the result of t-test and ANOVA. Why? If the Leven's test is significant, it simply says that the data is heterogeneous. अगर लेवेंस टेस्ट हमारा सिग्निफिकेंट है तो इसका मतलब कि हमारा जो डेटा है वो हेट्रोजीनियस है, उस पर हम बिना ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते. लेवेंस टेस्ट निकालते कैसे हैं? बड़ा सिंपल है. एनोवा आप सब लोगों ने निकाला होगा. You all know how to calculate ANOVA. So in Leven's test also we do ANOVA, but we do ANOVA not with raw scores, but with what? We do ANOVA on deviance score. You know what is deviance score? Raw score.
Hello, sir.
So ANOVA, we know that 2 or 3 or more groups we can calculate one way ANOVA. If we have mean for each group, we can calculate the mean of that group. Then each score minus the mean talks about deviance score. Each score minus mean. We will get deviance score for each group. And now if we use deviance score as score and compute ANOVA, it will be Leven's test. Usually we never do it by hand, it is done by software, but I want to tell you the process of doing it. The process is get deviance score x minus m. For each score you will have deviance, and then using this deviance score we calculate ANOVA. I can put it in another way. You have, whenever you have done calculated mean by assumed mean method, you have calculated deviance. You assumed a mean and then subtracted it from the score. So that is how we do deviance. In this case we will have actual mean which will be subtracted from each score. The outcome will be deviation score, and if we calculate ANOVA on the basis of this deviation score, it will be Leven's test. If this ANOVA is significant, it means the data is not homogeneous, and if this statistics ANOVA is not significant, it means our data is homogeneous. If our data is heterogeneous, we should go for doing non-parametric test, or if we have to do parametric, we have to first transform the original data into a format which is homogeneous. So that is Leven's test we use. Next assumption is testing linearity. Many statistics, especially correlational and other statistics, have assumption that our data is linear. Now what is linear? Linear is when we plot the data on graph, it should be a relatively straight oval line. So linear is when we have data distribution like this, or we have data distribution like this. It says we have linear distribution, whether this or this. But if we have data going like curvy form, taking a curve, taking a dip, anything, that is not linear data. And if we have not linear data, we may not do many statistics. Now assessing whether our data is linear or not, it is very important before doing a statistics. Because if our data is not linear, we may not do regression analysis, because if we do regression analysis, it is possible that it will not capture the real relationship between the variables. How to check this normality? We can simply check by doing scatter plots. We can simply draw them, the data on graphical format, and see whether or not it is taking a oval shape. जो ग्राफ है वो हमारा ओवल शेप ले रहा है कि नहीं. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि ग्राफ हमारा पूरे ग्राफ एरिया में डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है या कर्व ले रहा है. और अगर ऐसा है, which means that if our data is not linear, we can still do analysis statistics, but then we need to do it after transformation. So we will have to make that data linear by doing power transformations. So you will see that in this lecture I am again and again talking about data transformations. That is another method which we may discuss in some other lecture, how to do data transformation, because there are a range of transformation methods that are available. But I am purposefully skipping it from here because it is not necessarily to be understood at this level. The more you will get into this process, the more you will be able to understand what data transformation means. The next thing we discuss, we try to test in our data is multicollinearity. Now before doing correlations or any correlation based statistics, we may find this difficulty. Multicollinearity is a situation when the correlation coefficient between our predictors are excessively large. If our bivariate correlations are more than 0.85 and multiple correlations are more than 0.90, it indicates multicollinearity. Why? it is always almost impossible to get a perfect correlation. Why? If we get a perfect correlation, it simply says that the two variable are not two, rather one. अगर हम हैप्पीनेस को मेजर करेंगे और पॉजिटिव अफेक्टिविटी को मेजर करेंगे तो क्या होगा, हो सकता है दोनों वेरिएबल के बीच में कोरिलेशन हाईएस्ट मिले। क्यों? क्योंकि पॉजिटिव अफेक्टिविटी भी वही बात करती है जो हैप्पीनेस करती है। तो एक हाई कोरिलेशन पाया जाना हमेशा एक क्वेश्चन क्रिएट करता है कि वेदर वी हैव टेकन रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल्स। ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हमने जो दो वेरिएबल्स लिए हैं वो एक ही चीज को बता रहे हैं। इट मे बी बिकॉज वी हैव टेकन अ कंपोजिट वेरिएबल इनटू इंडिविजुअल फॉर्म्स। तो इतना हाई कोरिलेशन हमारे वेरिएबल्स के बीच में नहीं होना चाहिए। इफ देयर इज अ मल्टीकोलिनिटी बिटवीन आवर वेरिएबल्स, we can correct it by eliminating the redundant variable. If we find that the correlation between two variables are very large, it simply means that the two variables are measuring or talking about same thing. And if it is so, we may remove one variable. Why to unnecessarily create problem? Taking two variables which are like one. Or second thing, we may combine them together to make one new variable. So multicollinearity testing is very important when we are going for correlation based analysis like correlation, regression, multiple regression, structural equation modeling and all other things. Opposite to multicollinearity is orthogonality. Orthogonality is a condition when we found no association among variable. Orthogonality is the condition when we found no correlation between the variable, means zero or near to zero correlation. It is not possible to get in real world data. All the time we get some sort of correlation. It is not that it is significant or not, but we must get some correlation. We cannot get a zero correlation between the variable we thought of that they will be relevant. So if we have chosen two variables with a thoughtful consideration about research, it is usually not possible to get orthogonality. But if we found that there are concerns, if we found that orthogonal data, there are concerns, how is it possible? Is it the chance that people did not understood the questions? Is it the chance that what we wanted to measure is not measured? Is it because our data collected is erroneous? What is the reason for this? So orthogonality testing, basically we need not to test it. Whenever we will get correlation, we may get normal correlation, we may get high correlation which will indicate multicollinearity, and if we get no correlation we will know orthogonality. But whenever we get multicollinearity or orthogonality, we must be very careful before going for higher statistical analysis, because we need to think a lot and devise strategies to deal with it before deciding for parametric statistics. So ये ऑर्थोगोनैलिटी को भी टेस्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है। ये कुछ छोटी छोटी चीजें थी जो किसी भी स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस से पहले बहुत जरूरी हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाई डिस्कसिंग इट was very important in the beginning before we go for discussing statistics and statistical considerations. So I will end this lecture here, and Definitely there might be questions, concerns, you could not understand many things. We can deal it in one-to-one interactions. Okay, so I thank you and I will